that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, T. Kell, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. T. Kell and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suits your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. It is Monday, folks, August the 9th. We hope you are having a great start to your morning, to your week. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live here from the Low T Center studio. Our telephone number is 865-255-03. Iris Networks hotline. Business owners, where you get 90 days, no payment when you start with Iris Networks. High quality, reliable fiber internet and voice. Ben McKee, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Man, I am good. It's a big day for all the parents in Knox County today. It's a big day. Big day. Different morning, but it's a big morning. Big day because today is the first day of school for Knox County. So send them back to school, parents. Send them back to school. Again, 865-255-03. Iris Networks hotline. Tennessee hit the practice field on Saturday. Had to start indoors because of some lightning, but then finished their practice outdoors. It was a beautiful day. Perfect day for football once they got outside. So we'll talk about what was seen at Tennessee football practice. My man Ben, how was your weekend?
It was good. Very busy, but it was good. No complaints on this end. Just a good overall busy weekend.
I like it, man. We hit some basketball this weekend. The oldest had a basketball tournament Saturday, and Sunday spent some good amount of time in the yard preparing for the week. So we're ready to rock, man. We are ready to rock. Saturday morning, Tennessee had practice early, like they were going to do this football season. I wouldn't say early. It was like 9 o'clock. But got a chance to watch a good hour and a half of practice.
and saw a lot. Saw a lot of team. Saw the 1-on-1s, the 7-on-7s. Saw a good amount, and some guys made some plays. The thing about watching one day of practice, you try not to overreact because someone may have a bad day. It's all about the consistency of that play, of that player, and it could be good or it could be bad. So you can have a really good player that is going to be a starter and going to be a very important piece to the Tennessee football team, but one day at fall camp that I view, maybe that guy had a bad day, and the same can be said in the other direction, where you had a guy that is not going to be a big contributor, has not had a great camp in the 5 days, but I so happen to see him ball out. So you take things with a grain of salt. I'm going to just share what I was able to see. It was good to see a lot of people around the program that look familiar, former players coming back and viewing practice. But it was a good day for football. That's for sure. I guess people want to know, well, who looks the best at quarterback over the weekend? And I'll say this, Ben. I'm sure you can notice this as well from the times that you have been in practice. Whoever does not win the job cannot say they didn't have opportunities. And I mean not just getting reps. I mean getting first team reps. There's no way you can know based on the amount of reps or the order where the quarterbacks are going, who's going to be the starter. Unless you just go to one practice and then you just, make your decision there. But even with Saturday, like I noticed that Josh Heupel and company did a really good job of splitting up first team reps throughout the day. There's no way you can get a beat on who's going to be the starter based on who got first team reps at this point, because they're all even. They may not be even, in the first half of practice or the back half of practice, but the entirety of practice, you're gonna get your fair share of first team reps. Brian Maurer, I saw him get first team reps. Joe Milton, Hendon Hooker, Harrison Bailey. Because how do you evaluate the quarterback and see who's going to be the best one if you never put them in a position with the first team blockers, first team running backs, first team wide receivers? You want to see how they fare. And that was the case on Saturday. And so that was something I paid attention to the most. I was like, okay. First team reps that I saw was this guy. Oh, I don't think that guy's going to be a starter. But it was early in the practice. And then the next period, first team reps was a different quarterback. Oh, okay. And so forth and so on. The coaches, well, Mike Eckler, man, he's something else, ain't he?
That is an understatement.
He was asked about what he's looking for in a kick returner on special teams after practice. Oh, I never thought about it like that, man. You want somebody that can run through smoke.
It's a good reference.
It's
because that's what you're doing as a kick returner.
I've never thought about it like that. Because think about like all the returns from Evan Berry. What did it look like? It looked like he ran through some smoke. You get the blockers up front, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, you have the kick returner busting through, and he's gone. It reminds you of someone running through smoke. I never thought about that way. So, lots to get to today.
But what about punt returner? Had you ever thought of a punt returner as a fart in a skillet? That's what Mike Eckler said he's looking for in a punt returner. Somebody who is a fart in a skillet, a.k.a. somebody that can make a move and get upfield.
Yeah, I mean, you want a punt returner that's shifty, laterally, that can move and make guys miss. I don't understand that reference.
Yeah, me either.
But hey, as long as the players understand it and know what to do, that's all that matters. But yeah,
But do the players understand it?
I don't know. Man. I'm sure when Eckler said it for the first time to the players, he had to explain it. So I'm sure they understand it now. But yeah, I'm gonna need some clarification on that one. Sad, unfortunate news in college football. Bobby Bowden passed away at the age of 91. Florida State's legendary coach. College football is going to miss Bobby Bowden. What he's meant to the game, what he's meant to the profession of coaching in college football, the players that he has influenced, leading them to Christ and helping them become men after coming in as young men and boys. So we lost a great one. So we just send our condolences to the Florida State family, to everyone hit by the Bobby Bowden news. Just a tough one. It's a tough one when you lose a legend like a Bobby Bowden. What's going on in Georgia? What's going on at UGA? We'll get to that around the SEC a little bit later on in the show. For Ben McKee and Jason Swain, we'll take our first break of the day. Swain Event is fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Stay with us.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill, or call 865-693-5400.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Being over the weekend, did you talk to Greg McElroy?
No.
You sure? You sure you ain't been hanging out with Greg?
1,000%.
You sure that's not your boy?
I am sure.
I think he likes the Steelers too.
Does he? Played for the Jets. I don't know why.
He likes winning teams, man. He likes good franchises.
The Jets.
I mean, he can't help being with the Jets. That's the team that chose him. I like Greg McElroy just as a commentator, the way he goes about his business. But he's so off, man, when it comes to Tennessee sometimes. And the reason why I say that is because when he was on College Football Live at their 247 Sports, he was talking about Josh Heupel in Tennessee, and he said that Heupel, stepped into an impossible situation, which, okay, we all can agree, it's pretty tough situation. But he says Tennessee right now, they still have expectations. Their fan base has expectations. They think it's still 1998, and T. Martin and Peyton Manning are walking through that door. No, we not. No, we don't. We don't think that at all. We don't think it's 98. We talk about 98 because those are the years we want to get back to that point, but no one thinks that it's 1998. Who is Greg talking to? No one thinks it's 1998 around here. Tennessee fans, yes, they have expectations, but it's as low as they have been since I've been associated with Tennessee at this point. So I don't know who Greg is talking to. The only thing right about that statement is that Tennessee, for Josh Heupel, is as close as an impossible situation as you can get. Oh, look at on TV, man. Who's that on TV right there, Ben? Is that Calvin Johnson talking at the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
It is. Megatron.
Man, he sure look healthy, like he still can play. Looks like he still can play. Peyton Manning stole the show. Looking like he out here running for the president of football. Like the president of the sport. Peyton Manning gave an unbelievable speech. Made the allergies act up a little bit, kind of like yours this morning, Ben.
I feel terrible. I cut my yard for the first time Saturday evening.
Yeah.
I've been miserable since. Absolutely miserable. Which actually right now, I feel good compared to yesterday. Yesterday, I did not know who I was.
You should have wore a mask, man.
Yes, should have. Next time, I will be.
You should have wore a mask. You need 6 feet of distancing from pollen. He didn't practice good social distancing.
No,
man.
I practiced it. The pollen did not practice good social distancing.
The pollen, every time you move, the pollen moved right there with you.
It was miserable.
It's like being in a line and checkout line, and like the person behind you is all up on you. It's like, hey man, you see the signs?
Those people are the worst.
6 feet. Even before COVID, you're like, hey man, you
give me some space.
You're too close. You're in my bubble. Move.
Yes.
Back up. Back up. Goodness gracious. But the pollen did not listen to those CDC guidelines.
No, they did not. I took 2 Benadryl Saturday night, 2 Benadryl last night. Slept like a baby. Like a baby. But the Hall of Fame, I was going to say this for Attaboy, but it doesn't really matter. That it's not that big of a deal. But it was just an awesome weekend on so many levels, and more so for me probably than most because it was a big weekend for the Steelers. So many Steelers greats were going into the hall, and they were people who were instrumental in me becoming a Steelers fan. Troy Polamalu and Jerome Bettis and Hines Ward. I'm sure I'll get some crap for that because he's from Georgia. But those three are really the three players as to why I am a Steelers fan. So I got to see Jerome Bettis go into the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. Troy Polamalu. Peyton was my favorite player growing up, regardless of team. But Troy Polamalu was number 2. And to see him go into the Hall of Fame was very cool. Bill Cowher. Always have loved Bill Cowher. Just an awesome coach and an awesome person. So for me, you had the representation of the Steelers, Alan Faneca, Bill Nunn, the former scout that is credited for transforming the Steelers organization because he told Art Rooney that they weren't drafting enough black players. And Art Rooney said, okay, show me. And he went out and found Mean Joe Green. One of the best to ever play football from North Texas. And so many players like that became Steelers because of him. So it was really cool for my Steelers fandom. But on top of that, like, I can tell I'm getting old because, like, the first wave of players that I grew up idolizing and looking at as role models and, you know, heroes in the sports world, like Peyton, who was my guy. It was Peyton and Jeter for me. Those are my 2 favorite athletes, regardless of sport growing up. And now both of them are Hall of Famers. So it was somewhat of a realization that I'm getting old because these players I grew up watching, like the first wave of players that I grew up loving, they're now Hall of Famers. John Lynch, Calvin Johnson, Charles Woodson.
Cal Johnson still can play.
He could.
It's the Lions' fault.
It was cool to see him open up as much as he had. As much as he did.
Yeah, because he don't talk that much.
No.
Same with Troy Polamalu, it seems like.
Correct. And both of them were very inspirational. Troy Polamalu was inspirational to the American Samoan and the Polynesian community, which was really cool to see. Calvin Johnson speaking about essentially opioid addiction, and I thought gave great insight as to why he did hang it up early. I know we like to make fun of the Lions, but I had no idea about that back injury and how it affected him for so long. And he essentially alluded to – it sounded like he came close to being, like, addicted to the opioids.
It's really easy to be addicted, man, when you needed to be able to play.
Yep. He walked away from the game the same reason you did. You've always talked about you didn't want to have to take pills and shots just to be able to play football. And Calvin Johnson did that for so long and was just fed up with it. And it takes a lot of courage to step away from the game when you're in your prime. I mean, he led the NFL in receiving yards and then retired the next offseason or that offseason. So Calvin Johnson was really inspirational. Charles Woodson's the one that got me the most. I got a little dusty when Peyton started talking about his dad.
You're always dusty.
That is true.
You mean, your allergies start kicking in because it was dusty in the room?
Yes.
Or are you dusty because you didn't take a shower?
Both.
Oh, okay.
But it was emotional to hear Peyton reference his dad because I have that type of relationship with my dad. And then Charles Woodson really got me when he was talking about his mom and singing to his mom. And when he just simply said, "I love my mama," I felt that. So it was a really cool weekend and a great reminder of why at least I love football. I mean, football is just such a beautiful sport, beautiful game, the passion, the energy, the nostalgia, the history. And it's always a great reminder the Hall of Fame weekend is of just how awesome the sport of football is. And then I also loved Edgerrin James still in the show on Saturday night saying that he started in gold teeth and ended in a gold jacket. That was cool.
That's right.
So
when you see a good player win a championship. You know, like the first time Peyton won the Super Bowl, you know, it was against my Bears, but that relief, that sign of relief, like, wow, I finally reached the mountaintop. And when you win that championship, you feel like you're at the top of the mountain, but the Hall of Fame is another step. Like, it's another level on that mountain, and you are truly at the top. You are recognized as the best of the best in the history of the entire game. And you think about so many players who are great who are not in the Hall of Fame. Some of it's because of political reasons. Some of it, is not. And, they'll get their time. Like Drew Pearson should have been in there a decade ago, 2 decades ago. But he's in there now. But there's so many players who are not in the Hall of Fame that were great. I mean, Pro Bowlers year after year after year. So to be in this fraternity, man, I can see why you look back and you Charles Woodson and you think about all the sacrifices your mom made just so you can be able to play the game that you love. Not knowing, I'm sure at that time, that you would, be an NFL player. It's just, hey, I'm pouring into my kid because I love my kid. And it turns into something else because, I mean, when you start to see that your kid is actually really good and see that, hey, this sport can help my kid get a free education, it's providing discipline, and boom, it has provided a different lifestyle for my son. And, a son always going to take care of mama and bring mama home and get mama a house. So the game has just done so much for so many people. And I'm just happy for the Steelers organization, all the Hall of Fame inductees. Well, let's talk about these busts. Troy Polamalu had the best. He has the best bust.
Which is weird. Like, it was awesome. But if you look at Alan Faneca's flow, and it's kind of cool to see the transformation of Alan Faneca. He's another offensive lineman that as soon as football ended for him, he got skinny and doesn't look the same. But Alan Faneca had long hair when he played, and his bust maybe had better hair than Troy Polamalu's. And Troy Polamalu's hair made him money. He got him endorsements.
Still makes him money.
Yes.
Still makes him money. I think I saw him last year in a commercial with Patrick Mahomes for Head and Shoulders.
Yep. At the Super Bowl, I think.
Yeah. But that Peyton Manning bust.
Why so serious?
Why do him like that? Why y'all do Peyton like that? Why y'all make Peyton's bust like that? Just setting him up to get joked on Twitter. Why y'all do that? Why they make Peyton's bust that way? They didn't have to make his forehead that big.
Yes, they did. It is big.
They didn't have to do that, man. They didn't have to do that.
It's supposed to be representative.
They could have took an inch off the top. They didn't have to do all that. That was just wrong.
Isn't Michael Strahan in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
And doesn't his bust had that big old gap between his teeth?
Well, I mean, he's known for it. That's his.
Well, Peyton's known for his forehead.
It's kind of like Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has a unibrow, right? All that money, easy to fix it. But hey, man, it's who he is. So why change it? Michael Strahan, he probably could have got it fixed, decades ago. But no, man. I mean, that's what makes him unique. But yeah, the Strahan bust, my goodness, that is a gap.
It is a gap.
That is a gap right there. But that's what makes him unique. But that Peyton Manning bust, man, they had to use some extra materials for that, man. All jokes. Don't get mad at me. Just jokes. Just jokes.
Why so serious? Peyton never looks that serious.
He never looks that serious.
I mean, it looks like him. It's a nice looking bust, but never looks that serious.
It's a great, man. It's great. Football weekend, 865-255-03. Lots to get to around the SEC, man. This fall camp is really getting started for the teams of the league. Shoulder pads went on. Saw some popping out there, Ben. Some pad popping. I love it. Can't wait to see these guys go full pads. We start really getting some hitting, but I know that Tennessee wants to make sure they be careful because already have an offensive lineman that going to be out a significant amount of time with the injury. and it's an injury that is very hard to play through. Very hard to play through. I had a teammate had the same injury, and he shut it down. But we'll talk about it as we come back from break. Ben McKee, Jason Swain. Hour number 1 is brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Be right back.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help. Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
All right, it's time for Around the SEC. All right, Ben. Allergy McKee. Ben Allergy. What we got today, man?
A couple different things to hit on. Two primary news topics to discuss. Three, really. And then a story on Lane Kiffin that I wanted to bring up. But we'll start with what's going on at Georgia, and that is that Georgia Bulldogs special teams coordinator Scott Cochran has stepped away because of health issues. This is a story on ESPN written by Adam Rittenberg. Georgia special teams coordinator Scott Cochran is stepping away from the football program because of health issues, Kirby Smart said on Sunday. Former Florida and South Carolina head coach Will Muschamp, a senior defensive analyst with Georgia, will step in during Cochran's absence, a source told ESPN's Mark Schlabach. Kirby's quote was that Coach Cochran is currently dealing with health issues and is taking time to prioritize his mental health and well-being. We fully support him as he takes this time to focus on his well-being. It's unclear how long he'll be away from the team.
Yeah, hope Scott Cochran is okay, man. Never want to play around when it comes to your mental health, and man. The brain is a muscle just like any other muscle in your body, and it needs work. And when it does, you got to take that time to address it. So just hope Scott Cochran is okay and that he's going to be okay. Good opportunity for Will Muschamp, man. He finally gets to coach a team with some good players and without all the pressure like he did at Florida when he had good players, but he was the head coach. South Carolina, he didn't have all the players, so he's in a good position right there at Georgia. So convenient for Kirby Smart to have a coach of Will Muschamp's caliber to be able to fill in.
Missouri has hired a new athletic director after Jim Sturk announced last month that he would step down once a replacement is found. Missouri has hired UNLV's Desiree Reed-Francois as its next athletic director, the school announced on Sunday. The 49-year-old is a former rower at UCLA and will become the first female athletic director in Missouri history and the second in SEC history following Vanderbilt's Candace Story-Lee. Missouri President Mun Choi said this is a transformational day for Mizzou athletics. Desiree Reed-Francois brings an unsurpassed passion for student athletes and bold visionary skills that will propel a championship culture at MU. Miss Desiree Reed-Francois had been a candidate for several Power 5 athletic director vacancies in recent years, including at UCLA in 2020 and Northwestern earlier this year. Before coming to UNLV, Reed-Francois oversaw Virginia Tech's football program as a deputy athletic director. She also held assistant athletic director roles at Tennessee, Fresno State, and others.
Yeah, congratulations to Missouri, man. You know Vanderbilt kicked the door open, and Missouri walked right on in. Love to see qualified individuals get an opportunity regardless of their gender. And so, man, we'll see what happens. I know she got a long list of things that she's going to have to make sure that she takes care of.
There's not really a sport at Missouri that's in a great place. Like, Danny White took over, and he stepped into a good situation with baseball, stepped into a great situation with softball, even though softball did just go under a change this offseason with Ralph Weekley retiring and Karen Weekley taking over full-time. Men's basketball was in a great position for Danny White under Rick Barnes. But at Missouri, I do like Eli Drinkwitz. I think he brings a level of quirkiness and difference that a place like Missouri needs to compete in the SEC. So I do like Eli Drinkwitz, and I do think he's going to prove to be an offensive wizard. I do believe that. But even still, like, Missouri's not going to win any SEC championships anytime soon, in my opinion.
No.
The basketball program, I like Konzo the person, but underwhelming as a head coach. That doesn't mean I think he's a bad coach, but seems to always have talent and never really do anything of significance with that talent.
Just doesn't scare me.
Yeah, which is a problem if you're Missouri. If your opponents think that of you, then that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
The women's basketball team was really good when they had that Sophie Cunningham.
Mm-hmm. She was good.
But they haven't done anything since over the last 2 seasons. Their softball team was really good this year. It was. So I guess softball's in a good spot. And then their baseball program is just awful because they chose not to hire Tony Vitello.
Pretty much.
So she's got her work cut out for her, as you mentioned. I did want to bring up the college football news that shook the college football world over the weekend. That was yesterday morning, and you alluded to it earlier in the show. But Bobby Bowden, the longtime Florida State football coach who ranks second all-time in D1 wins, has died, the school announced Sunday morning. He was 91 years old. Terry Bowden, his son, said in a statement that my father passed away peacefully early this morning with all 6 of his children and my mother here by his side. I couldn't have asked for a better personal mentor than my father. He was a wonderful husband and father who relied on his strong Christian faith to provide the foundation for his life. I also was fortunate to be raised by a football coach who had a reputation for coaching the right way his entire career. He was admired by everyone who played for him or coached against him. Bobby Bowden was diagnosed with a terminal medical condition in July. He did not disclose what the condition was at the time, although Terry later told reporters that it was pancreatic cancer. Bowden also dealt with what he called a tough bout of COVID in 2020, which came a few days after returning to his Tallahassee home from a lengthy hospital stay for an infection in his leg. So Bobby Bowden passed away at the age of 91 Sunday morning.
The man that he was and the people that he affected when he wasn't, a football coach on the field is great in itself. But this stat I'm about to name, this stat I'm about to share with you, like, it's mind-blowing. For 14 straight seasons, Ben, Bobby Bowden and his Florida State football team won at least 10 games and finished ranked in the top 5 in the AP poll. 14 straight seasons, you finish in the top 5. What? 14 straight seasons, almost a decade and a half, will you finish in the top 5? That is ridiculous. I know what Dabo's doing. I know what Nick Saban is doing. And sometimes we can have recency bias, and no one is going to top what Nick Saban has done in Alabama. But Bobby Bowden winning multiple championships. But the domination, the consistency there at Florida State. And we know it's the ACC. It's not like it's the SEC, but still, 14 straight seasons finishing in the top 5. That's pretty dang remarkable right there. So, like I said earlier, man, just condolences and our thoughts and prayers with the Florida State football family, Bowden football family. Quick story: when I was in high school, my high school coach was good friends with the defense coordinator, Mickey Andrews. And actually, when my high school coach passed away, Mickey Andrews was at the funeral there in Huntsville, Alabama. But Florida State was one of the first teams that knew about me and started showing love because of that relationship between my high school football coach, Ronnie Massey, and Mickey Andrews. And so it was just kind of far for me. And yeah, I don't know. I just never felt right, going to the state of Florida. But Bobby Bowden was a huge reason why, like, I even looked at Florida State, just because of how he did things. You never really heard about them in any crazy scandals, except for the whole Lavernius Coles thing and the jokes from Steve Spurrier talking about Free Shoes University. I think that was Lavernius Coles or Ward Dunn, but Bobby Bowden always just ran a great program, had great players. He was always glowing with energy. His energy was infectious. I was intrigued by that, and was always impressed with Florida State. He was a coach that had that personality, and he kind of wanted to be around. But I don't think I've ever shared that story about Mickey Andrews. But yeah, man, he was a longtime defensive coordinator. He was kind of like a Bud Foster at Virginia Tech or John Chavis at Tennessee. Just was there for forever. But just, we all gotta go. We all gonna go. Yep. But it still hits you right in between your eyes when it actually happens. And 91, man, that's a full life. Mm-hmm. That's a full life. His impact.
Tennessee fans certainly know the feeling of losing a legend. We've unfortunately dealt with a ton of legends passing the last couple of years. Pat Summitt, Johnny Majors, John Ward.
Yep.
Sad.
Yep, it's tough, man. Let's get to the phones. Big Orange Mac, good morning.
Good morning, Jay Swizzle. Good morning, Benjamin. you segue right into what my first topic I was going to talk about, Coach Bowden. I had to play. I tweeted it yesterday, I think, or Saturday. I can't remember, but I had the pleasure of hearing Coach Bowden speak at a coach's clinic in Tunica, Mississippi, several years back when I was a volunteer assistant at the high school level. And it was like the first they messed up. They put him in a little bitty room, and it was packed full of people, and it was standing room only. And the one thing I remember about it, this guy was slow rolling a peppermint in his mouth, and it annoyed me. Like, it ruined my experience. But anyway, it was all loud and annoying. And but anyway, it was like sitting on the front porch with your grandfather and listening to him tell old war stories and telling you life lessons in between. And, man, you talk about some great stories. And it all had a purpose. And when he tell you a story, it'll come back around to a life lesson, something that – and it was great. What he did at Florida State, you know, when he first got there in the late 70s, they was on the brink of shutting down the program. They were that bad. And he came in, he got them, you know, going. And, you know, through the 80s, you know, they had a philosophy, we'll go and play anybody, anywhere. And they just kept building and building and building. And his character, you know, he, like I said, he was just like your old down-home grandpa. We kind of miss those characters now, in my opinion, in college football. Everybody's a robot now. You know, they're too afraid to say anything. They think somebody's spying on them. You know, it's crazy. But it was, you know, you hate to lose a legend like Bobby. And you know, he was a great man, and I imagine all the players that he coached was, you know, I know they hurting. So we'll get into Five Heads Hall of Fame speech. What a great speech! I mean, it was well laid out. You know, Ben talking about, man, I seen my heroes going into the Hall of Fame. Man, I remember I was in the 7th grade when we played UCLA, and he came in for Jerry Colquitt, and I'm kind of like, I remember it like it was yesterday. Now I'm watching him go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You think you feel old, Benjamin? I'll be 40 in 2 weeks, dude. It'll hit you right in the face, man. It'll make you feel old, and man, you know, when he's getting choked up, talking about it, especially if you're close with your dad, like I was, and it's hard not to get choked up because that father-son relationship, it's I know everybody like Charles Woodson, he loved his mama. I love my mama, but that father-son relationship, there ain't nothing like it in the world. And, yeah, I got a little somebody was cutting onions a little bit when he got talking about his dad, because I got to thinking about mine, and it's just, you know, it's a bond. It's just, man, it's just a wonderful thing. Guys, I'm gonna get off of here. Y'all have a great day and go Big Orange.
Thank you, Big Orange Mac. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate your words, man. Big Orange Mac always, you know, up on the history of the game, and lots of times brings education. Brings education, man. You think Big Orange Mac was 65, 70 years old, with how he can go back and you know, share history, and you think he was born during those times. But man, Big Orange Mac, man, is truly a sports historian. Respects the past. Just great words on Bobby Bowden, and you can always look for a nice Peyton Manning forehead joke from Big Orange Mac, man. He has some lined up. I was looking at his timeline a minute ago. Big Orange Mac's a fool when it comes to Peyton Manning's forehead, man. But we was watching during the break when they unveiled his bus, and even Daddy rubbed on his forehead on the bus, like, "Hey, they got you right, son. Look at the head. They got you. They nailed it, didn't they, son?" Oh man, but great moment for Tennessee, man. Another Tennessee player going into the Hall of Fame, and he stole tonight with his speech. Just a great speech about the importance of football and respecting the game and what the game can do for you if you respect the game. It respects you back, and certainly been the case with Peyton Manning. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
At work, can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Homes, remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
Attaboy is brought to you by Iris Networks. IrisNetworksUSA.com is their website. Follow them on Twitter at Iris Networks USA, where they specialize in high-quality fiber internet and voice, amazing customer service. Business owners, you start your relationship with Iris Networks paying nothing for 90 days. Iris Networks, again, USA.com, your go-to for business, internet, and voice. Listen, my attaboy is simple, man. I'm giving it to everyone that inducted into the Hall of Fame, players and coaches. What an unbelievable milestone. I keep it simple. I keep it sweet. It is coaches and players inducted into the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ben?
I am giving an attaboy to former Tennessee offensive lineman Zach Fulton, who announced that he is retiring from the game of football. He started 44 games the previous 3 seasons with the Texans and signed a 1-year deal with the Giants this offseason that would have paid him $1.2 million. He received a $137,000 signing bonus. He was a starter for most of his career and was battling for a roster spot with the Giants this training camp. He spent most of the early part of training camp working with second-team offense, and even with starting left guard Shane Lameau injured his knee, Kenny Wiggins took his spot ahead of Fulton. Fulton was even seen this week at practice cross-training at center after another offensive lineman retired. So, Zach Fulton, after a heck of a Tennessee career, going undrafted, correct? Didn't Zach Fulton go undrafted, or was he a late round pick?
Zach was drafted. Yeah, Zach. I think he was drafted in the 5th round.
Sixth,
okay.
6th round. So, heck of a career at Tennessee. Nice career with the Texans.
With the Chiefs too, I think.
Yep. So, heck of a run in the sport of football for Zach Fulton. So he gets my attaboy today.
Heck yeah. Get that pension from the league, so you set for life there. Man, you get to kind of go out on your own. Hopefully he's still able to walk and do all those things for the duration of his life. Hopefully he didn't get hurt too bad to where his quality of life is affected too much there. So a lot of life to live, and just congratulations to Zach Fulton for sure, man. Let's get the Turkey Man on the Irish Networks hotline. Turkey Man, good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. I tell you what, old Peyton make your eyeballs sweat sometimes.
Powerful.
In his storytelling.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, I was listening to one of the sports writers said that he predicted us in football this year come out have 4 wins. 4-8, I think, what he predicted.
Who said that?
I can't remember
Was it
the
Mike
guy's
Farrell?
name. Yes, that's right. That's
Okay.
right. And but anyhow, what I was wondering about, which seems like every close game is because we've been so bad. But people like Peyton gets accused of coming to the game and getting beat. It seems like when he comes to the game, he brings people with him because he goes back to university, and we don't do our part. We usually, will be a lose or be an embarrassment, I think, over a few games. But looking at the schedule, what game that means anything, that if Peyton come back or some of the VFLs come back, that we would have an opportunity to have a W, that they would get to see a W with what our schedule is. I mean, what's the best chance of Peyton or somebody like Peyton coming back and watching the Vols? We'd be able to give them a win. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Bowling Green?
No. I'm talking about mean something. Really mean something.
Well, it'll be an SEC game. I mean, so it has to be like Alabama, Georgia, Florida. If you're talking about meaning something, I mean, when you think about big games that Peyton Manning played in, and I understand he never beat Florida, but still, those are huge games that had a lot on on the line, and they've always been those three. So yeah, I mean, if you want to pick out a game where if Peyton was in attendance, it would mean something if Tennessee would win, it's those three. But hopefully Peyton will decide to get on up early, come check out the Pittsburgh game. That's not a cupcake game, but at the same time, it's not an SEC game, and it would be a win that would be pretty significant in Josh Heupel's first year, and I expect Tennessee to be an underdog in that game. So, but it'll be one of those three SEC teams. To answer your question, Turkey Man,
You think Tennessee will be an underdog in the Pittsburgh game?
I think they should be. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they will?
I think they will be.
I think they're already a favorite. I think they're like a 4-point favorite.
That's interesting. That's a shocker to me. That's a shocker to me for sure.
Well, Pittsburgh's not some world beater.
I mean, you have to be a world beater to be a favorite. I ain't saying it was a favorite by 21 points or 14. I'm just I would go Pittsburgh 3. That's what I was expecting because listen, man, Tennessee won 3 games last year. Lost a bunch of players, new coach, and talent from a talent standpoint. Yeah, they're still SEC talent, but I just expected for Pittsburgh to kind of be the favorite. Doesn't mean that Pittsburgh is going to win. Doesn't mean that it's going it's impossible to beat them. But I expect folks to look at Tennessee and not give them any respect until they go out and earn it and prove that they can go win. That's what I expect. But that'll be a good game for Tennessee, man. They can win. People are not going to look at them the same way if they go out and beat one of the SEC Big Three or anything. But I think that will be a solid win, and it's very, very important. This is why you move the game up to a Thursday to have the extra day. Unfortunately, that game is at noon. I would have liked to see that game, at even time to help with creating a great atmosphere for the team. The Neyland Stadium influence. It's going to be hot, so that stinks. That part stinks. But yeah, man, I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh is a 1-point favorite, 3-point favorite, or however they do it. I don't think Pittsburgh's a world beater, but Tennessee was terrible last year. It lost a bunch of players, so until they go out and prove it, that's kind of what I expect people to view. How I expect people to view Tennessee.
You could also view being terrible and losing a bunch of players as a good thing. A bunch of players left a terrible team. Sounds like a good thing to me.
You're being terrible and your good players left?
That's not what you said.
Bam.
You said a lot of players left. Last
yeah, including good players.
Hannah left.
You can try to spin if you want to.
Greg Emerson left.
You can try to spin if you want to.
Gerald Middleton left.
Okay.
The drug dealer left.
Mm-hmm.
But Twitter told me Henry To'oTo'o is not a good football player.
And Twitter lied to you.
Twitter told me Wanya Morris isn't a good football player.
Hey, man, I don't listen to Twitter half of the time. I really don't. But yeah, the experts will look at that, and whoever picked Tennessee to win 3 games or 4 games. Honestly, I don't even care. Like, I don't care if someone picked Tennessee to win 9. Like, it just doesn't matter because what happens on Saturday will either make those guys right or wrong. You still gotta go play the game. So predictions don't really mean anything to me preseason. You gotta go do it. I've been on the good side of a prediction where we were preseason ranked number 2. I've been on the side where no one respected Tennessee and we wasn't ranked at all. And both times we proved the experts wrong. So it just doesn't matter. Hour 2, Swain Event. Be right back.
is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
At Hiller, we care about your family's comfort all year long. If you get caught without air conditioning this summer, we're offering a free service call with any repair. That's a free service call when we do the work on your HVAC system. Visit happyhiller.com to schedule your appointment today.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Oh, no one's on the line there. Let's hit the text box. NC Vol says, Swain, you wear practice right. Who is the starting quarterback? I'll tell you who looked the best in the first day I was there. Honestly, all of them look pretty good. None of them look bad, but Milton Hooker did. They stand out to me.
It's like they're tier 1, and then Harrison's tier 2, and Maurer's tier 3.
Yeah, Maurer had in my opinion, what I saw, Maurer had a pretty decent day.
He's just not consistent.
Yeah, like what I saw, he didn't have any like terrible mistakes or anything like that. He was exhibiting all the things outside of throwing the football and handing it off that you want to see from your quarterbacks. I mean, He was, meeting his receivers down the football field, congratulating them, very, showing some leadership qualities, but it may be too late for him. And I think if he would have done this and showed this type of maturity and this is just what I've seen. You could be doing one thing, putting on for the cameras, putting on while people are there, and be doing a totally different thing when no one is there. So, but if he would have handled himself like this a couple of years ago, then maybe he would have been in a different position. But he had a good day. I didn't think Harrison had a bad day, but I didn't think it wasn't eye popping. It wasn't like, oh yeah, he's different. It wasn't. He was just a guy. Hendon, I thought showed some poise. His ability to escape is very, very intriguing. He threw the ball well. Milton threw one ball, man. I was like, he's different.
Yeah.
It was
all right, Jimmy Callaway.
He's different. He was on the right hash. That was in the indoor, and I forgot who ran the route, but it was like a corner to the left. It was very tight coverage, and the ball was thrown so precise, with so much velocity. The receiver didn't have a choice but to catch the ball because it had hit him right in his breadbasket. And it was no way, it was nothing the DB could do about it because he couldn't break under the football because the ball was thrown so fast and so hard. Sometimes you get those lobs that are thrown to the outside and the DB can undercut it. It was no chance for the DB because of the velocity of the pass. And I saw that and I was like, and that was the first time I saw Joe Milton in person. I was like, yeah, he different. Had a really good scramble on another play where he showed some speed. Hendon is faster, but Milton showed that he is a true dual threat. Like he can get out and run. So we got three true dual threat quarterbacks on our roster. But I like Hooker, man. I like Milton. I thought those two guys stood out to me.
You see why I like Hooker now?
On Saturday. Yeah. I like Hooker. I think Hooker, and you said this as well, but from spring camp, you feel like he had the lead and did a pretty good job during the spring. But I just think you can just do so much more with Milton, man. And
yes,
that's a big part of the decision here. If you're the coaching staff, is man, you're not limited in what you can do. You can call anything as long as mentally he can handle what's being thrown to him. And just because he wasn't out there during the spring doesn't mean he doesn't know the playbook because he had access to learning everything, even though he wasn't here with technology. So Callaway said he knows the plays. Like he's been here the whole time. So I don't see how Milton's not going to be the guy based on what I saw. But I don't know who's going to be the starter by looking at reps because everyone is getting equal reps. I'm just looking at who has it, and to me, it is number 7. It is number 5. It's those two dudes.
Yep. Milton can make all the throws in the world, like you just described. The question is, can he do it on a consistent basis? And that's not 10 practices or 10 throws in practice in a row. If you throw 10 straight passes in practice that look great, that's consistency within maybe that drill. But when I'm talking about consistency, I'm talking about from practice to practice, from week to week. That's where Milton's going to have to improve the most is just consistency in his game because he can make all the throws. He makes throws that the other quarterbacks can't make. It's why you've heard the comments made by his teammates.
Simple as that.
He is different. He has that it factor because he has an NFL arm. He quite frankly, he can make all the throws. There was never a question of the throws that he can make. It's always been about can he do it on a consistent basis from practice to practice, from week to week.
Yeah, I saw a video clip of Joe Milton throwing to a receiver a couple practices ago where the ball's kind of overthrown, and like there's some overreaction from folks on Twitter, the Twitter football coaches, and I didn't see one pass like that on Saturday when the guys were in pads, when there was defense, like everything was on the money. You know, even crossing patterns. You know, when a tight end coming across the middle, it was thrown right there on the hip. You know, either hip or between the hip and the chest area, catchable passes. I mean, it is there. As soon as you break, boom, it is there, and that's what you want. I thought all the quarterbacks did a good job throwing the football, honestly, from what I saw. Catfish Billy says, I'm starting to think Harrison is the opposite of JG, a gamer and don't stand out in practice. You always heard this about Dobbs as well. Why you think that? You just make that up? Like what information have you gotten to make you think that? Or is that just what you want to – that's what you want to think? Because – Dobbs, like, I understand Dobbs is unique. Like, Dobbs is unique. I didn't play with one player in 4 years that did not play like they practiced. Not one player in 4 years. I cannot think of one player that you quote unquote call a gamer. People are using this way too much. Like, it rarely happens. And people think like Dobbs was just some trash in practice. He wasn't trash in practice. It's way overblown. Early in his career, 2013, he might have had a little bit of inaccuracy issues. But like after that, he improved each and every year. His completion percentages point to that. And it points to him being the reason why Tennessee's offense was so successful and covered up so many gaps. So this whole Dobbs was a bad practice player. I think that narrative is really overblown. It's played out. He was a good practice player. Just earlier when he did not win the job, that's why he didn't win it. And it proved that he was the best quarterback for Tennessee in the games. But that whole thing in 2013, when Worley was a starter, and then you open it up in the Florida week, and then you put out Nathan Peterman, you know, Dobbs was kind of the last guy. You know, Riley still has some maturity things that he needs to work on. Remember, Riley didn't play in the Florida game, but they still brought him because they wanted him to be around the team and not check out, and was worried about his maturity. But this whole gamer stuff, guys, like it doesn't happen a lot. What you do in practice is what you do in the game. We just talked about Peyton Manning, Hall of Famer, one of the best quarterbacks ever. Peyton Manning was not a gamer. Most good players are not just gamers. They play well in the games because they do exactly what they do in the games. They do it in practice. So this notion that, oh, well, you know, just because you didn't do it in the games or in practice, you'll do it in the games. That doesn't happen much at all.
Yes. We cite one player over the last decade that was a gamer, and Josh Dobbs. One player that we cite when this conversation gets brought up. And as it relates to Harrison Bailey, what I don't understand is, when has he proven that he can play in a game? Because to be a gamer, that means you have to ball out in a game.
I don't get where
what
Catfish
game has
Billy's
Harrison balled out in?
Yeah, I don't get where Catfish Billy's getting this from.
Harrison play and look, Harrison may be a gamer. I don't know. Nobody knows. He may be a gamer. He may be, but he has not proven that he is, because he hasn't played lights out in a football game. He's played well in one game. You know what that one game was? Vanderbilt. Did they even win a game last year? They canceled their season early. He played well in one game against Vanderbilt. And kudos to him. I'm not trying to take that away from him. But you can't call him a gamer when the only game he's played well in so far is the Vanderbilt game.
Yeah, like
that had to fire its coach and canceled its season because players were just quitting left and right.
Like people can look at me and be like, man, that's not fair. You know, that's not fair what you're saying about Harrison. It's not fair to overhype him before he deserves it. That's not fair to him. He's not a 5-star anymore. It's not fair to hype a player up before they deserve it. It's not. You're putting these unrealistic expectations on them. Like when they show you that they can do it, then you expect more. But you don't put Muggsy Bowles up against Shaq in the paint and say, "All right, I want you to stop Shaq." It's unfair. But if you see Muggsy being able to guard a post player and he can do it, then you expect him to be able to do it more. Like nothing we've seen from Harrison suggests that he's a gamer. Like there's no evidence. You may want him to be, but that's different than feeling like he is because you actually saw it. Like no one saw that. Y'all, we did the same thing with Brian Maurer. Oh, gamer, look what he did in the Florida game. Came in. He didn't do anything.
And then he played against Mississippi State and had 2 interceptions in the first half.
In the red zone. Should have had 3 against Florida.
It should have had 3 in the state game because the state player dropped one.
Well, yeah. He had 2 in the red zone, but he should have had 3 interceptions in that Florida game. Guys dropped it. So, we just got to take a little step back. Take a little step back. Let the guys earn it. For me, I don't care who the quarterback is as long as Tennessee wins. I have no personal relationship with any quarterback. I've met one quarterback that's there right now. Met one. I met Brian Maurer. That's it. And I don't care who the quarterback is.
Met him is pretty loose.
I mean,
it's not like you went and had lunch with him for an hour.
Yeah, I met him when he's a recruit. And then, spring I was reintroduced. But outside of that, that's it. So I don't have any favoritism. I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care who plays at any position, as long as they're the best player and they help Tennessee win. That's how I feel. So we gotta chill out. We gotta chill out a little bit.
Like according to Nick from South Carolina, Bailey's actual stats for the last 3 games: 14 of 21. 111 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. That was, well, his numbers are confusing. Sorry, Nick. But point is, he hasn't balled out in a game yet.
Not yet.
He did against Vandy. Not trying to take that away from him again, but that Vandy team isn't one to brag about a performance in. You can't be a gamer unless you ball out in a game, and Harrison Bailey has not done that yet, so he can't be a gamer.
Yeah, there's not a quarterback that can say they're a gamer for Tennessee. I mean, if you want to go look at a couple plays that Brian Maurer made, awesome. But I can also show you plays that he didn't make and almost got balls intercepted and throw you out of the game. Like you have streaky shooters that they can shoot you in the game and they can also shoot you out of the game. That's Brian Maurer. That's what he's been his entire career. You hope that changes with a new system, new quarterback coach, new head coach. But that's what he's been. That's what he's been. That's what he's been. So let's just be careful with the whole gamer stuff, because it gets thrown around way too much. Because no real coach buys into that unless every once in a while it's true. And I'm talking about every once in a while. What you do in practice is what you're going to do in the games most of the time. And then every once in a while you get somebody that practices like crap, don't do anything, and the lights cut on, and then woof, they're just a different player. And then you also get guys who are All-Americans in practice and they go in the games and they pee down the leg. That happens more than the opposite, to be honest. When you play great in practice, in the games, you don't play well. That happens probably more. That's like the anti-gamer. That happens more than what people say, oh, he's just a gamer. No, you develop those habits in practice. Most of the time, what you do in the games is what you have done in practice. Go ask any coach that's good. And I say the same thing. All right, let's go to the phones.
We've got DR Vol and then Justin in Florida.
DR Vol, what's up, man? Good morning.
What's going on, guys?
What's up?
As long as it's not JG, I'm like you. I don't care who we have a quarterback, but
cool.
You do know Brian Maurer will be the starter this fall, don't you?
I know that.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry Jones, his team is the Cowboys, so he does what he wants. And Brian Maurer, this is his team, so I assume he'll do what he wants. Start himself.
Here you go. Always starting stuff. Always starting stuff, man. Brian Maurer was emotional during that time. Give him a pass. He was emotional.
I know other emotional people.
Oh, man.
You.
I'm very emotional. Ben, have they kicked you out of Lowe's for soliciting yet?
No, but they may be close.
It's awful, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I went double-digit times this weekend.
Oh. Swain, you can see if you agree with me. I told Ben, when you're going that much to Lowe's and you know it better than the Dollar General, that's peak adulthood.
That's when you know you're getting older, man. When you get excited about going to the home improvement store. I got this new wrench.
Amen to that.
I got this new drill.
Guys, this will be a little bit more serious phone call. Excuse me. Mac had me in my feels this morning and, talking about Peyton. And anytime I can story about my brother, I'm going to. But Peyton kept up with my brother during his 7-year battle. And I'm not going to share completely what he said. It's too personal. And, one of the rules about Swain Event is there's no crying in a Swain Event or baseball. And he called the day before my brother passed away. And we had several phone calls that day. And Peyton was the only smart one. He restricted the number because I definitely would have saved his number. And he was talking to me and my parents. And I said, Peyton, I really appreciate you calling. You're a hero of my brother's. And something was said. And he said, I just played football. Your brother's a hero. And that's the kind of person Peyton was. About a week after we buried my brother, we got a sympathy card from him. And I had all those memories flooding back to me last night, guys. It couldn't happen to a better guy, in my opinion.
For sure, man. No, for sure. I've always heard stories of Peyton, man, writing personalized, letters and notes to people. And, it means a lot. It's easy to be a Peyton Manning fan because he's representing Tennessee and because he's a good player, but it takes it up another level when he is going out of his way to let you know that he's thinking about you, as a human being, and that's what makes Peyton just over the top special. So that's a great story, man. Maybe one day we'll get to hear a little bit more from you, man. I know that's a very sensitive topic and difficult time that you got to relive.
Yeah, and I. Again, some stuff you just don't share on social media, but I'd love to one day sit down with y'all, show you the letter he sent, maybe the one Tebow sent as well. But, thanks to my brother's gone, but thanks to Peyton, I've got a special memory like that.
For sure.
I'm going to get off here if I get a little too emotional, guys. You have a good week, though.
Appreciate it, DR Vol. Thanks, man. 865-255-03. Thanks for sharing that with us, DR Vol. Anyone else? No one else?
Justin in Florida.
Oh, yeah. Justin in Florida. Good morning, Justin.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
What's up, man? Well, how are you?
Good. So as I'm calling in, Swain, you actually stole my thunder. I agree with you. There's more anti-gamers than there are gamers.
It really is,
so many
man.
guys. Yeah, so many guys can look like $1 million during practice, and this is true of probably all sports, but then just can't put it together in a game.
Yep. That's happened more than being a gamer. Absolutely, because some folks have that performance anxiety, man. The lights cut on and they just a step slower. They think a second longer. Some guys, just it's like having test anxiety. Some guys just don't perform as well in the games. And
right.
I think we've seen more situations of an anti-gamer than we have really gamers. I mean, I think people throw that out way too much because it's honestly, it's just not as realistic as people think it is.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, you guys were talking, and can't remember who either texted in or called in with regards to Bailey. I did want to correct Ben on one thing. I know Vandy was a good game for Bailey, but I think, was it Texas A&M? Didn't he start out like 8 for 8?
Yes.
And then for some inexplicable reason got pulled. That one will always. I never understood that one. I don't know if it was just part of the game plan to split up reps or whatever. But usually when a guy starts out 8 for 8, goes for a TD drive, you kind of continue to roll with them. But here nor there. One thing I did want to throw out there, Swain, is I think everyone gets caught up with Bailey and how he was ranked in high school, and the rankings now don't mean a thing. And I think we need to kind of forget that. It's what they're going to do on the field now. I mean, you go through and there's 1,000 examples. Like I was having this conversation with someone over the weekend. We were just hanging around talking, Tennessee football, QB situation. And, just because someone was ranked high in high school doesn't necessarily mean that translates. Now, I know a lot of the times it does translate, but, especially at quarterback, you can have a guy work his way up through the ranks like I had said, Kyle Trask. He was a 2-star, and then ends up being, a Heisman candidate after, putting in the time and, getting himself, drafted. That's something that, I think people kind of tend to forget. But one thing I did want to ask you guys, because this was like I said, the whole conversation spurred into something else. The Vegas money, let's say hypothetically, Milton becomes the guy. What do you do with the backup position? And the reason I ask this is because, if you're Heupel, you kind of have to go with the next best guy, but what if you're looking at things from a long-term perspective? Do you, if you make Hooker, let's say the backup, does Bailey go, okay, I'm out of here, Hooker's got his 1 year left, would you rather have Bailey? Because when it's all said and done, Bailey didn't have a, full year last year. Like, he was quarantined for, I want to say it was 60 days or something. Couldn't even leave his room. So there was a lot of development last year he didn't get. It was just a jacked up season. Now that he's getting a little bit more time, a little bit more off season, you're hearing reports out of Halsley that, he's really coming along. This kid is still a freshman on paper.
Yeah.
So even if he redshirted this year, he's a redshirt freshman next year, even though he's been in college a third year. Is that more valuable to keep than a guy that's going to be one and done? Wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that one, because I think it's a pretty interesting sort of general manager question.
Ooh. On paper, he's a sophomore, but like as far as reps, he's a freshman. That's a good question. And the head coach is the general manager in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good question. So, whoever's a starter, and then whoever's the backup, you look at number 3, number 4 as possible transfer candidates, right? Well, if you are Josh Heupel, just kind of recapping what Justin was asking, which is a great question. If you're Josh Heupel, and let's say you have Milton Hooker 1 and 2, but then Bailey falls to number 3 or 4, whatever, and he thinks about transferring. Well, he still has 3 years left, where Hendon Hooker only has 1. Do you say, well, we're gonna make Bailey the number 2 just because he has more time left? I don't think you do it, man. I think you are trying to set a culture, and that culture is you get everything that you earn. You earn what you get, and a move like that is political. And I think the last thing you want to do in your first year is to make political moves. You want to make moves that strictly is connected to the play on the practice field, because you don't want players to be like, oh yeah, well, coaches say that you get what you earn on the practice field, but then if you do that, you'll lose them. You may be able to do that after the culture is set, but I don't think you can risk doing that in year number one. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully it works itself out to where it is obvious who number one, number two is, and number two and number three are not as close, so that way you won't be put in that situation. But that is a great question to ask. That is a great question. Hopefully that does not become an issue where Tennessee has to kind of weigh that out, because that's a good one right there. Let's get to Jay. Jay, good morning.
Hey, Swain, good morning.
What's up, man?
So, I'll tell my, Peyton Manning story.
Please.
I think I was in 6th or 7th grade, and I had a disease. I was in the hospital at UT Hospital for, a good bit, and I had a disease called Kawasaki's disease, kind of like the motorcycle. Kawasaki's disease is extremely rare, and it's usually, from what I understood, it's usually kids that are 5 and under get it. I think at the time they said I was the oldest known case in the world to ever have it. So it's pretty crazy that I even had it to begin with. And anyways, went through hell and back with that. And Peyton, Coach Fulmer, and Jamal Lewis came. I guess my mom or my dad somehow set it up because they knew how much I loved UT football. And Peyton, Jamal Lewis, and Coach Fulmer came and visited me in the hospital and brought me a signed helmet. And, being in the state I was in and stuff, I do remember it, but just remember just how warm and welcoming Peyton was. And I mean, Peyton was my idol. I mean, if people don't understand, who maybe weren't around or don't remember, but Peyton was bigger than Elvis in Tennessee at that time. I mean, it was like seeing a god almost. And Coach Fulmer was pretty big himself, but I just remember them coming and visiting me and spending time with me, and I just always remember that. And I still have the signed helmet, and just a great dude. Coach Fulmer and Jamal Lewis too, but Peyton's just a great guy, and he does stuff like that all the time. I don't think people realize that. Like, he has done stuff like that his whole life, and most of it people don't even know or realize.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want it to get out. He doesn't want it publicized. He's just genuinely a good dude. And I think the thing I've always appreciated about him is that, Jason, he seems to love this place like fans love this place. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, he seems to truly – I think that's why also people can relate to him so well. I mean, yeah, he's probably the greatest football player we've ever had here, but he really does love this place. He really does love Tennessee the way that we love Tennessee, and I think that's what makes him so relatable.
I think you're absolutely right. And I did not know that story. As many times that we've talked to you on this show, man, I probably wouldn't have reason to bring it up. But wow, man, what a story! I did not know that.
Yeah. I mean, I've never brought it up, and it's crazy. I don't know. Maybe I still have that claim to fame that I'm the oldest person to ever get it, because they said only kids 5 years and younger get it. So I know I was in 6th or 7th grade, and I was playing. At the time I was on the middle school basketball team, and I had this doctor's appointment, and I still remember it to this day. I was at the doctor's office getting checked out, and I'm like, well, Doc, I got a basketball game today. And he's like, buddy, you ain't going to – he said, well, I don't think you're going to make your basketball game today. And that day I got admitted to the hospital. But, they came by. I think this was Peyton's senior year, because Jamal Lewis was a freshman, I think. And so because Jamal was there as well. So – and Coach Fulmer, and obviously at the time Tennessee was I mean, that was the pinnacle right there. So as far as us winning and stuff, but yeah, man, he's just a good dude. I was happy for him. I was really happy for him.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate that phone call.
Thanks.
Powerful, Jay. Thank you so much. I want to add something to what Justin said earlier when he called in and he talked about the Texas A&M game and Harrison Bailey's first drive. I want to add some context too. I would have liked to seen Harrison Bailey play more than the first drive or two as well, because how do you play outside of the offense coordinator scripting plays? Because when you're trying to manage a freshman quarterback, you script plays in a way where he doesn't have to do too much. They're easy throws. Getting him in a rhythm. After the scripted plays, all right, now what do you do? How does that player play? Why do they pull him after so early in that Texas A&M game? I think at that point, too, you couldn't play JG because you was losing the fan base, you was losing the team. You had to play Harrison at that point because he was the future. There was no point of playing JG last game of the season. It wasn't any point at all. I would have wanted to see Harrison Bailey, play a little bit more, which is always confusing to me of why so many people, have these definitive statements on him when you just haven't seen a lot. There has not been a lot that you have seen to make you feel like he is the guy or should be the guy. I want to see more. Didn't see a lot in the Arkansas game. He wasn't put in the best situations there. When he was put in, all he did was dink and dunk. And then his first throw as a collegiate quarterback, he was asked to make a fourth down throw on a slant pass that was covered. I mean, that was a tough throw to make. So he wasn't put in great positions to be successful. The culture was terrible. But I wonder why he was pulled. And also keep in mind that first couple plays of a game, they're always scripted plays.
I think Shrout came in.
They're always scripted plays. Always scripted plays. They have it set up to, all right, you're going to get the first two possessions and you're going to get the next two. This is what we're going to do to kind of see what we're going to go with our future. We're not going to win this game against Texas A&M, so we might as well get these other guys in. What was the conversation in the coach's office? That's what I want to know, and we'll never know it. 865-255-03. Be right back.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses. It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks. Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design.
Hey there, Swain Event listeners. I'm excited to share my new Keller Williams Realty app so you can tour homes without leaving yours. Not only can you search for homes in specific areas and neighborhoods, you can also have access to real-time market snapshots on stats like average home price and days on market, plus commute times from your office, school zones, and much more. Download my app today and get the most accurate information on buying, selling, and investing in real estate in your area. Just search for the Keller Williams Realty app and click on More in the lower right-hand corner. Type in Jennifer Morris in the Your Agent search bar, then save and you're set. And as always, feel free to reach out at 865-257-7897 or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy. If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to hamptoninn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill, or call 865-693-5400. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain Event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Go to this text box. Jennifer Moore says, non-football question. What did you make the girls for lunch on the first day of school? Do they have Dead End in their lunch boxes? Well, today's a half day. Today's a half day, which is a good reason to go to Dead End Barbecue after picking them up, right?
Mm-hmm.
My youngest one, they do staggered start, so she's with me. She's at home right now. I don't know what she's doing right now.
Yeah, you may want to check on her during the next break because we haven't heard anything in like 2 hours, and she is the definition of if it's too quiet,
something's wrong.
Something's up.
I got a pretty good idea of what she's doing. She's watching TV.
Probably, but she is the youngest, and your youngest is mini you, and we haven't heard her in 2 hours. So you may want to check next break.
Black Jack says, I think Bailey can be a great quarterback for Tennessee. Well, he didn't ball out on a team that nobody balled out on. He did show accuracy and ability. The little time Pruitt allowed him in games, he did better than the others. I thought Pruitt managed the offense horribly. I hope that changes this year. It's hard to watch the same 3 or 4 plays on offense over and over again last year. I mean, you may see the same 3 or 4 or 5 plays this year. It's just going to be different.
I do agree with his first sentence. I think Harrison Bailey can be a good college quarterback.
He said great for Tennessee.
I think Harrison has the tools to be great for Tennessee.
Okay.
I just hope people understand what you and I are trying to get through, and that's that he's not ready right now.
Yeah, he's not great right now. He's not there yet right now. That's all we're saying.
Yes, that's what we're trying to communicate. I do think Harrison – I wouldn't go as far as to say great quarterback, but I would say at least good quarterback. It goes back to what I said last week, and I didn't do a good job of explaining it when we had our conversation on Friday about Harrison and the other quarterbacks, and when I kind of said the same thing and contradicted myself when I said that I trust him and I don't trust him. What I was trying to say and did a poor job of explaining is that you don't want him to start. He's not your best option as the starting quarterback, but if you throw him into the fire, he's not going to burn to the ground. If you throw him into the deep end, he's not going to drown.
You trust him to manage,
yes,
if he's thrown in there, but you don't trust him to
go win you a game,
to be the reason why Tennessee wins a big game in the SEC.
Correct. Not right now.
Yeah.
Not right now. So I do agree with that first sentence, and I just wanted to make that clear. And I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like you agree with me that we're not like out on Harrison. We just don't think he's ready right now.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything that makes me think that Harrison Bailey can be great for Tennessee.
That's fair.
Yeah, I have not seen that yet.
That's fair, because even like the start against A&M last year, it was one possession, and he looked great on that drive. He really did. He looked great. I know he had a throw down the sideline to Princeton Fant. I believe it was to Princeton Fant. That was a beautiful throw, and then he came out and dropped the dime.
I think that was a Warren touchdown.
But then he had a throw before the touchdown to Warren, because the touchdown to Warren was from 33 yards out on a little play action, and he hit Warren down the sideline. Beautiful throw. But then I think he had a long throw to Princeton Fant on the opposite sideline to get Tennessee across midfield.
Okay, gotcha.
So, I mean, he looked great on that drive. He really did. But that was 6 passes. He was 6 for 6 that game. So, he did look good. But, let's consider the circumstances of that game, final game of the year. I wonder how locked in A&M was at the beginning of the game, knowing what they knew Tennessee was. They're not going to come out and play with the same intensity that they would against Alabama or Georgia or somebody of that caliber. So that's all I'm trying to communicate is that I don't think Harrison's just a bad football player. I just don't think he's ready right now.
As of today, of all 85, what is win-loss prediction for the season? It ain't good. It ain't gonna be what y'all want to hear. I think we'll be a team that will be in this 6-win range.
Yep, I feel the same way. I think they'll be battling to win their 6th game in November.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Oh, and speaking of that, to kind of play devil's advocate to Justin and Florida's question about maybe letting Harrison Bailey sit higher on the totem pole so you don't risk running him off because he has more years of eligibility. To play devil's advocate, if Hendon Hooker is in a better spot to lead Tennessee than Harrison, if you're Josh Heupel, don't you need to win as much as you can right away? Because I know that we as people who follow Tennessee go into the season knowing that we need to give Josh Heupel time. Like right now, it's easy to say right now on August 9th, before Coach Heupel has coached a single game, that he needs time and that he deserves patience. But they come out and they look bad against Pittsburgh, everybody's going to flip on them. Maybe not everybody, but a lot of people are going to be frustrated with Heupel. Even though they know that he needs time to kind of rebuild things, people are still going to get frustrated depending on how they look in certain games. If they look really bad against Kentucky or South Carolina or Missouri or Pittsburgh, like people are going to, not everybody, but there will be some that flip on him even in year one, a month to 2 months into him coaching at Tennessee in the season. So if you're Heupel, knowing that could happen, why would you not put your best foot forward and try to win as many games now? You have to, because as much as we preach patience, it dissipates real quickly. That preaching goes away real quick when you look bad in a 50-50 game that you could have won.
Hey, man, play the best players. Simple as that, man. Don't get caught up in those political games, things like that. That's what's going to get you in trouble. It got Pruitt in trouble. It got Butch in trouble. When you was playing Jalen Hurd way more than you should have because you got caught up in political games and promises. Play the best people that prove it in practice. If you do that, you'll have the trust of your players. The moment you get away from that, your players will not trust you. Mm-hmm. I've been through it as a player where a decision was made based on potential rather than actual results in practice, and folks started questioning the coaches. And it showed on the football field. That's what you have to do if you're Heupel. You are trying to establish a culture. You're trying to build trust, and trust is built both ways. The players, how they play, how they carry themselves on and off the football field in the classroom, they're building trust with their coaches. They're earning trust from their coaches, and the coaches are earning trust from the players. You say something, you want them to do something, then you have to do it too. You want them to be truthful, you want them to be honest, well, you have to be honest too. And the moment you're not, you get caught up in the lie, some type of political BS, your players will stop trusting you. And you don't want that, because you can't come back from that. Once that trust is broken, it's a wrap, because players talk, recruits talk, and they may play hard, but they ain't run through a brick wall, and that's different. So you can't play games. You got to think about today. Play the best guys who earned it. Simple as that.
Happened last year, not just at the quarterback position.
Simple as that.
There's some who feel like Aaron Beasley should have gotten a crack in the rotation last year.
Oh, he should have.
So it's
I'm
not just the quarterback position where that happens.
Yeah, I'm one of the some for sure. 865-255-03. Be right back.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work from anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Went to practice on Saturday, and man, if we can just get past the quarterback conversation, I can tell you what else I saw.
Did anything else catch your attention?
Jeremy Banks, Jabari Small.
Let me ask you this about Jabari Small. Is he shorter in person to you than you thought?
No, because I
you didn't think he was.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I didn't think he was tall either. But when he came out for media days, I was looking at him like, bro, he is 5'9" on a good day.
Yeah, man, him and Tyon Evans. I saw them jogging together, and they're both short. But it doesn't mean as long as you run the football the right way, and it doesn't matter.
You see Tyon's big butt.
Yep, I saw Tyon's big butt. Cannot lie. I did see it. I did see it. But Jeremy Banks, man, just the command that he had of the defense, playing linebacker. It was cool to see him and Jefferson, man. They was popping some pads now.
Mitchell?
Jefferson. Why I say Jefferson? Mitchell.
I don't know why.
Juwan Mitchell. But they was popping some pads. Banks came off the edge on a blitz. And it was a kind of like a delayed handoff. It was a shotgun handoff to Jabari Small. And Jeremy Banks was unblocked. Woo! In a real game, Jeremy Banks is probably gonna get a targeting penalty. Just because you're gonna hit him hard. You're gonna hit him hard. And the ref's gonna they're gonna find some BS way to stop hard hits, even though it may not have been targeting. But it was a nice pad pop for sure. But Jabbar stood out to me. Him running the football, there's no doubt that he's RB1, no question. His acceleration in the open field, his vision, no question. He is RB1. There's no question that the two linebackers, or who they're going to be.
Juwan Mitchell and Jeremy Banks.
No question at all. There. We did have a question on the text box about Darnell Wright moved and tackle. Darnell Wright came in playing tackle. The question was
left tackle.
Let's see here. I just had it. There it is. Notorious Nick. I heard Darnell Wright has moved to left tackle. Are we in trouble with the offensive line? If we in trouble with the offensive lines, to me, it's not because of Darnell Wright moving to left tackle. It's because of Kayron Calvert tearing his bicep, because he's a guy that was expected to make a huge jump, in my opinion, to kind of be an integral piece of that offensive line. Now with the departure of Trey Smith, he was going to move right there to guard and be very, very important, or be able to play some tackle and be important. A lot of experience, playing some big time games.
He was going to start left tackle this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, that injury is more devastating than really anything on the offensive line, and would signify trouble. But
Darnell was working at left tackle before Calvert got hurt too.
Well, I was about to say about Darnell, and Notorious Nick. Just because Darnell Wright is playing tackle doesn't mean we're in trouble. Darnell Wright was recruited as a tackle and started off playing tackle and was moved around a little bit. Darnell Wright was not necessarily happy with some of the changes there on the offensive line, but now he's good. He understands. But every offensive lineman that plays tackle in high school, want to come in playing tackle in college because that's where the money is. Everybody wants to be a left tackle or tackle in the NFL, but it's good to be versatile. It's good to be able to show that you can do different things, because that only enhances your value. But I think it's too early to say that offensive line is in trouble based on really anything that's happened to this point.
They're trying out different options. That's what they're doing. They're cross-training guys, seeing where guys fit best. That's why Darnell Wright was getting some reps at left tackle, is just to see what they have, to mix and match, and they truly want to get their best five on the field. And maybe their best five is with Darnell at left tackle, because I think that they want to get Jerome Carvin and Javonte Spraggins in the starting lineup. And to get Spraggins and Carvin in the lineup, they're going to have to play guard for you, because Cooper's going to play center, Carvin's going to play left guard, Spraggins right guard, and then that has Cade playing tackle, which I do think Cade is better at guard than he is tackle and has a pro football career ahead of him playing the guard position. But for Tennessee's best five, it's with Cade at tackle, because that means Carvin and Spraggins has stepped up inside. So you've seen Cade work at right tackle and slide Darnell over to left, and I think it's to just try out some things in first week of camp. So now's your time to test out those type of things, and I'm sure over the next week or so they'll settle into some roles. They'll either stick Darnell at left tackle still, or they'll slide him over back to right tackle. So they're just mixing and matching, trying to see what's the best five, and I think it's going to end up something along those lines.
I think you're right,
because you have to have Spraggins and Carvin on the field. You have to. They're two of your five best offensive linemen, which then kicks Cade out to tackle and just asks the question, okay, is he going to start at left tackle or is he going to start at right tackle?
Correct. ATL VFL says Pruitt should have gotten JT Daniels, but opted not because of Simpson. We still didn't get him, so just play best.
But Tennessee would have gotten Ty Simpson
if Pruitt was a coach.
If Pruitt was still a coach.
Yeah. So I understand the move for Pruitt. I mean, you would have had Ty Simpson 100%. But this year you would have been still without a quarterback, unless you went out and got some in transfer portal. Who knows that? Who knows if Tennessee was going to be able to attract a Joe Milton? You had Hendon Hooker, but where would the quarterback room be if Pruitt was still the coach? Sorry, but I'm not necessarily having a lot of confidence in his ability to go out and get transfer quarterbacks because he absolutely botched the quarterbacks here as the head coach. Brother McKee, to answer your question, no, sir. No, sir. Brad says shouldn't lose to a non-conference. We shouldn't. Shouldn't. Nick says, who's the best option? Milton, who was garbage at Michigan. I hope Milton is credible. I'm not saying that Bailey is great, but damn. A&M was playing for a playoff spot, so yeah, they were playing with all they had. Not early. I was at the game. And it was an early game, and Tennessee got some early momentum because they scored early, and then Texas A&M was like, all right, let's play. Let's play. And you have to understand, as a coach, the first possession of a game, that is really the only time that you have control, the most control that you're going to have in the game, because it is planned. It is planned. You got those first 10 plays, those first 5 plays, those first 15 plays. They are scripted. And you have all week to prepare for that first drive. After that first drive, that defense is going back to the sideline. They're making adjustments. And then from that point on, it's about you adjusting. And you have to do it within seconds, within minutes in between drives. The first drive, you got days. So, yes, you can put a quarterback in a situation to be super successful, the same way that Tennessee was on the first drive in 2013 against Oregon. Like Tennessee, he was like, dang, look at Tennessee's first possession, man. Go down there, you big play from Kroom, big play from Josh Smith. First possession, go down and score. But what happened after that first possession? What happened when Oregon went to the sideline and adjusted? It was a beatdown, same way it was Texas A&M. So you got to kind of take the first possession with a grain of salt because of the scripted plays and how offense coordinator can really, really be prepared. And that quarterback can be prepared. Like you working on these specific plays, like, hey, we're going to do this first possession, and it's simple. After that, it's a little bit harder. So, and I think it's funny that Nick's what was it, Nick? Yeah, Nick said that Milton was garbage at Michigan. Like, what is garbage?
Milton was not good at Michigan.
He wasn't garbage.
No.
Like,
but
come on,
here's
man.
my
Like,
thing
garbage?
Here's my thing about Milton is I'm not holding his time at Michigan against him because of Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh and his offense at Michigan has been an utter disaster.
Yeah. Not one quarterback has done anything in Michigan, and they've had Shea Patterson, who
got worse.
Absolutely is a 5-star talent when he came in from Ole Miss. Like, he hasn't had one quarterback do anything.
Brought in, I believe his name is Dylan McCaffrey. I know his last name is McCaffrey. I think he's the brother of Christian, who was a 5-star quarterback, did nothing. Transferred out. Joe Milton did nothing, transferred out. So Milton may prove to be a bad quarterback. May prove to not put it all together and never amount to anything. That may be the case, but I'm sorry, I'm not going to hold his time at Michigan against him when I know that Jim Harbaugh's program as a whole has been a disaster and his offense has been an even bigger disaster. And, like, the same goes for Harrison Bailey. Like, I'm not holding Harrison's time under Jim Chaney and Jeremy Pruitt against Harrison either, because I know of all the dysfunction that existed within that situation. So, and Virginia Tech. I mean, Justin Fuente, I'm surprised he has not worked out at Virginia Tech. I was very high on Fuente coming out of Memphis when he took that Virginia Tech job. Fuente was somebody I wanted Tennessee to interview when Butch got fired. And I'm surprised it hasn't worked out. And Fuente's supposed to be an offensive guy, and Virginia Tech's offense haven't been all that great either. So, like, Hendon Hooker, I'm not holding Hendon Hooker's time at Virginia Tech against him just because I know of all the dysfunction in those different circumstances that we just talked about.
You get a fresh start when you're here.
Yes.
Like, you should be judged on what you do now, not based on what you did where you are, because it could have been the player. It could be the coaches. We don't know. That's why you kind of wait and see. Like, there are levels. There are levels. And if you think Milton was garbage at Michigan, what the heck do you think about Jared Garantano with Tennessee? Like, I'm just saying, like, you can say that he wasn't productive. You can say he didn't have a good year. That's cool. But garbage? Garbage is like the worst of the worst. That's like, you can't get lower than garbage. When somebody say, man, he's garbage, or man, he had a garbage year, like, you can't get lower than that. Milton didn't have that type of year.
Garbage is, I hate using this example because it's a good guy. Garbage is Nathan Peterman in the NFL. That is garbage.
Or here at Tennessee.
Yeah, he just barely played at Tennessee.
But when he did,
beat down his leg.
That Florida game
was garbage.
That was garbage.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, I didn't see that, from the film that I watched from Milton. But anyways, Other McKee says Harbaugh could break Peyton Manning. He's terrible. Yeah. Peyton would have been average with the Harbaugh, right? Z Hamilton lost his grandfather this morning. So Z Hamilton, man, we just, our thoughts are with you, man, and glad that we can provide a little bit of comfort for you and lift your spirits a little bit for a couple hours. So thank you, Z Hamilton, for sharing that with us, and thank you for listening to us this morning. And man, our prayers are with you and your family. 90s Vol says, besides quarterback, the thing that I'm curious to see is, can Heupel slow down the offense when he needs to? Going too fast just for the sake of it isn't beneficial, but can he adjust play calls to extend drives to give his defense a break? We will see. Yeah, I mean, if you find yourself up, in the fourth quarter, can you slow it down a little bit? Bleed the clock, give the defense a rest, win. You got to have some type of feel of the game. Alex Golish and company, and if your defense has been out there in the football field way too much, you've had a consecutive drive or two where you went 3 and out. Your defense is just had to guard a 10, 12 play drive consecutively. Do you go out there the third offensive possession and do the same thing, try to go super fast? Or do you say, all right, let's slow down a little bit to give our defense a little bit of rest? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how Heupel will handle that. We will see when the games start.
What is interesting about that is that will the offense be effective if it's not doing what it's meant to do? So, like, I get the concept of slowing the game down in particular situations if you're up late, if you're trying to chew clock. But I almost worry that the opposite will take place. Like, if you slow things down, if you take your foot off the gas pedal with this particular offense, knowing the type of fuel that it needs, like, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot, and you're not going to be effective.
Could be.
Yeah, so I'll be curious to see how that transpires, because I definitely think you'll, like, see whoever's the quarterback, like, get the team to the line of scrimmage, get the offense to the line of scrimmage, and everybody get set up, and then they'll look to the sideline, and then I think they'll run the play clock. Let the play clock run down. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would, because there has, even like with this philosophy, this offensive philosophy, you do have to be able to manage the game of football in addition to having this offensive philosophy. You can't go 90-0 in every single circumstance. There will be times where you have to run time off the clock, and I hope that the offense can take it down a gear and still be effective. Because if you get so used to doing something a certain way, when you don't do it that certain way, is it still going to be effective? Because we saw Butch take his foot off the gas several times, and the offense sputtered. I think of the Tennessee-Oklahoma game in 2015 in Neyland when Tennessee was all over Oklahoma the first 2.5 quarters, and then Butch's booty hole got a little tight, got a little nervous, took the foot off the gas, and got timid and allowed Oklahoma to
You can
come
adjust
back in
the speed and tempo while still being aggressive in your play call. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you don't have to snap the football with, 28 seconds on the play clock and still say, all right, we're going to still attack this corner. We're still going to take shots down the football field on third down. We're not going to just run some give up type of dive play. We're still going to make you play us and keep you honest. At the end of the day, if you're up by some points and you got to slow it down, it really just comes down to execution. Like, you're still running the same plays. All right, you got a slant route. Well, it's about you beating the guy in front of you. Or, okay, you got a curl route. Or you have this zone running play. It still comes down to beating the guy in front of you. Can Tennessee do that without relying on tiring the defense out or relying on confusing them because you're getting up to the line of scrimmage fast, quick, and maybe they're not ready. Can you line up and say, all right, we're gonna bleed this play clock down to 4, and we still gonna beat you on this play? Can the offense do that? That's our question.
Yes, that's what I was just alluding to. But here's the other thing, though. You know what else helps you distance yourself from the other team?
What's that?
Scoring. Throw a bomb real quick and put up another touchdown on the board. Put up more points on the board that the other team has to overcome.
Man, I can hear it now. Tennessee is up and you're still going fast, and then you give the other team an extra possession,
and
they go down and win.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna feel bad for Hype on that day.
And I'll understand the criticism.
He'll get roasted. Oh yeah.
So I'll be curious to see. It sounds like a good question to ask Heupel.
It is.
Do you think he'd give a straight answer, kind of his philosophy in those situations?
I think it depends on how it's asked. If it's asked in a way that allows him to, skate around the question and give you a pretty cookie cutter answer, then he will. But if you are able to ask a really good question to get a good answer, I think he'll answer it even before a game is played. Now, if it happens, then he'll have no choice but to address it because there will be actual play in the situation. But yeah, if you ask it the right way, now, hypothetically, I think he'll answer it.
Especially this year, if you go fast, it doesn't work out, other team gets the ball back, and you don't have a defense that you can rely on. Because I can understand maybe continuing to go fast if you have one of the best defenses in the conference, because then you kind of have a safety net that could save you with a good defense. Tennessee's defense isn't in a position to save the offense or bail the offense out this year.
You want to keep the ball if you're the offense.
Yep.
In that situation, for sure. All right, let's go back to the phones.
We've got Dave Tona and then Chip and Jackson.
Dave Tona, good morning.
Morning, guys.
What's up?
Just finishing up moving.
Sounds like a fun day.
Yeah, it's been a long weekend.
Sounds like a fun day.
Yeah. Hey, I just wanted to say something about Dr. Vol and was it Justin about his childhood illness?
Yeah, Justin in Florida called. Dr. Vol called as well too.
Yeah.
No, Jay.
Well,
you talking about the disease?
Number one.
Yeah, that was Jay.
Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Vol must have had a pretty amazing brother, and he seems to be a pretty amazing brother, keeping his memory alive like he does, and the emotion that you hear in his voice as he's speaking of his brother. But I'm glad to hear people give some of these pros kudos when they deserve it, because a lot of times, you think of them as being big old rich snobs that don't care, and the really good ones that extend themselves, it's just, and it is very powerful, and it is very meaningful, and it does create a memory that you remember the rest of your life. So I just wanted to give those guys, tell them I appreciate hearing their stories.
Sure will. I think they can hear you. Tell them right now. But if
All
they
right,
didn't hear it,
guys,
I'll tell them.
Y'all have a good one, and I'll talk to you later.
Hey, thank you, Daytona. Let's get to Chip, who's calling in Jackson. Chip, good morning.
Hey, what's up, guys? How are we doing today?
Good. How you doing, man?
Doing great. Just wanted to, real quick, I just saw a clip from, I believe it's Ben's favorite ball tight end.
DWA?
Now. Yeah, he's on the Seahawks now, dude, and he just burnt somebody. So it leads me to my question for you, Swain. You were at practice, and I know that, there's not a lot of talk around the tight ends as far as, the use of them in Heupel's offense, but I didn't know if you had a chance to look at that, and hoping, y'all kind of touched on it earlier. And I do this every year. I get excited. I can't help it, man. I just love Tennessee, love football, and all that good stuff. And I always get myself kind of worked up, and I shouldn't. I'm not on the hype train yet, but yeah, I'm kind of getting excited. Just want to see what your thoughts were on the tight ends, and if there's there's a possible breakout star on the tight end position. And I'll hang up and listen. Appreciate you guys.
Based on what I saw practices, there's two guys that's going to play tight end, at least for the first half of the season, and that is going to be Jacob Warren, and that is going to be, golly, what's my man's name?
Princeton Fant.
Princeton Fant. It's going to be him. I saw Jacob Warren doing a really good job of coaching up the young players. Young players, man, they're adjusting to that tempo. They're adjusting to how you play the position at this level. And you can condition all you want to during the summer, but the intensity takes a lot out of you, and it takes a little bit to get used to. And for Campbell, he got a ways to go on adjusting to that type of intensity and the type of energy you got to have in practice. Julian Nixon is bigger than what I expected. Like,
remember, I told you last week, it's amazing that
he ain't 230. He more than 230.
He's thick.
Yeah, he more than 230. Right.
I said it last week. It's amazing to me that he played receiver in high school.
Yeah, man. Listen, I wonder what he is now versus what he was when he first came in, because I was expecting a more slender.
Ain't nothing slender about that.
No,
boy.
Man,
he thick. I do think Miles Campbell's gonna play. Not a ton. He's not gonna be tight end one. Not gonna be the backup unless somebody gets hurt. But there's a lot of positive buzz around Miles Campbell behind the scenes, and Alex Golesh, Tennessee's offensive coordinator, didn't shy away from Miles Campbell when he met with the media last week either. He said that he's never played a true freshman at the position, and said without saying that Miles Campbell's going to play as a true freshman. He is somebody that the staff is very high on. So once he gets accustomed to the tempo, like you mentioned, I think Miles Campbell will contribute. He's not somebody that you're going to be able to rely on game in, game out as the guy. He may end up being that down the road, but this year he's going to play, and I think he'll have a couple of nice catches throughout the season.
I think a lot of guys are going to play because they're forced to play because of depth concerns, kind of like what Tim Banks said a couple of days ago when he was interviewed about, hopefully he's playing guys that he trusts. Hopefully guys are not out there playing because you don't trust them. I think there's going to be situations where guys will have to play.
Yes, you're right. But I do think Miles Campbell playing is more because of Miles Campbell going to be a good football player for Tennessee rather than him having to play, if that makes sense.
He struggled Saturday, man. And I said this open the show. You can have a bad day and still be a guy that will be a contributor and be really good. Like, playing could be 2 or 3 snaps a game, or it could be 25 or 40 snaps a game. Playing is playing, right? So we can sit here and say that he'll play, but how much he'll play and what role will he play in and what part of the games will he play in, that's a whole nother conversation. But he might have had a great couple days leading up to Saturday, but Saturday he struggled from what I saw. I mean, he struggled.
Which is weird that, I don't know, is it? I know he's a freshman and he has to adjust to the tempo, but he was here in the spring. Shouldn't he have some?
I don't know if
because I've seen him struggle with the tempo as well.
I don't know if he did. I don't know if he's hurt or something else is going on. I mean, but he was.
Remember that story I told
last week? He was struggling. He was struggling on Saturday.
Remember that story I told last week about the freshman that wasn't hurt but was off to the side and it looked like he was trying not to throw up?
It was him.
It was him.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna let it go again on Saturday. He was huffing and puffing.
But that's weird to me.
It's weird.
He was here in the spring.
It's weird to me.
So
it's weird.
We'll see. I'm still high on Miles Campbell. I think he'll prove to be a good football player over time, and I do think he'll make a couple of plays this season.
Yeah,
maybe not. He may go 2 games without doing something, but then he'll make a nice catch out of nowhere.
Hey man, it's the first week of fall camp. Is a true freshman. It happens to all of us, man. It's a steep adjustment period for some folks, and I can't say that I haven't seen it or experienced it myself as a true freshman.
Here's the other thing. COVID is still going on.
Yep.
I don't know whether Miles Campbell had COVID or not. I truly don't. This is me speculating, but there were guys over the summer, several guys over the summer within Tennessee's football program who got COVID. So
good point.
Who knows if he is coming off of COVID? Because I'm obviously not a Division I football player, and after I had COVID and got back in the gym, that first week or two on the treadmill was HE double hockey sticks. It was impossible to breathe, and it was not fun. So who knows? Maybe he's dealing with other circumstances as well. We just don't know.
Valville says, based on athletic ability and the way he started to come on at the end of the season, do you think Princeton Fant has breakout potential at tight end? Absolutely. Absolutely, Princeton Fant has breakout potential. He was another guy to me that was on another level. I mean, the way he practiced, and you normally see this from guys who are seniors or guys that plan for this to be their last season. You know, they just the way they practice is different. Princeton Fant, when finishing, catches and runs, like he ain't just letting people just bump him. He gonna push you out the way. He gonna sling you around. He is the aggressor. He is going to set the tone, and you got to meet him where he is. That's what I saw in Princeton Fant. So yes, he absolutely has breakout potential. Wes wants to know my worst camp experience. My worst camp experience was my freshman year. That's my worst camp experience.
Do you have an individual moment, though? Like the worst thing that ever happened to you in fall camp?
Probably straightening my groin in my freshman year. I mean, just the beginning of fall camp was terrible, man. I started off with a knee brace, and Walker Merrill's knee brace, he got a sleeve, and
he looks good though.
Yeah,
running around. Did you see the same sense of urgency in Jalen Hyatt that I talked about last week?
Correct. I saw it. Yeah, I saw it.
He looks like a man on a mission.
I was gonna get there on Jalen Hyatt, but yeah, I did see that. I was very impressed with Hyatt and how he was finishing. His plays. I would offer some advice to him, but I was very impressed in how he was practicing. I really was. But my worst camp experience was my freshman year. I wanted a visor. I thought that was cool. I didn't wear one in high school, so I wore a visor. I couldn't breathe. I took it off the first day. I had a knee brace on that was terrible. I strained my groin during fall camp. I was out for like half a week or a week, so that's kind of hurt my ability to show the coaches that they can trust me. I always knew where to line up. I knew the plays, but I wasn't out there to be able to show them that I could be trusted on and be consistent because I had the groin. So first game of the season, I didn't even play until the fourth quarter. I want to transfer during the game. I want to walk off the sideline and go home, to be honest, because I'm like, I can. Why am I not playing? But looking back at it, I can understand from the coach's perspective because I didn't have a lot of fall camp time to prove it. But still, felt like I should have been playing a whole lot more. And the next game, I played all I wanted to play. Then Florida game, I was leading receiver. So sometimes you just don't know in that moment. And that's why you got to just keep pushing on and don't make, long-term decisions spur of the moment. So, yeah, my freshman year, that was the worst because it was new, man. It was something I wasn't used to. I wasn't used to the tempo. I wasn't used to the heat. I wasn't used to the intensity, which is why I understand where Miles Campbell's coming from. I get it. I totally get it, man. The huffing and the puffing, I was there.
It's just strange because he was here in the spring, and Julian Nixon wasn't, and Julian Nixon isn't going through the same thing. So it makes me wonder if there's something else going on.
If I was an early enrollee, I would have not looked like Miles Campbell.
Nobody. No, Walker Merrill doesn't.
Yeah.
Like none of them do. So I wonder if there's something else going on.
Yeah,
there.
I wonder too. CJ Vol says a bunch of people's grandparents are passing away. I'm up in Fentress County at the farm, and that I now own, where his grandmother was laid to rest on Friday. And my thoughts and prayers are with everyone who has lost a loved one. He says this one really hurts. Mama couldn't wait to see Hype coach a game, and she would ask me how many more days until the season start. She will now have the best seat in the house, I'm sure. GBO. So, man, I love to you, CJ Vol.
Losing a grandparent is the absolute worst. Special bond between a person and their grandparents.
Leader of the family, man.
Can't replicate it.
Leader of the family. Nick from South Carolina says, I agree. Michigan's offense wasn't good. I hope he balls out there. I just want to win. Tennessee's offense was garbage last year as well. All we know is that our offense will be better no matter the quarterback, and that makes me happy for sure. I can guarantee you, Nick, the offense will be better. A third-round receiver didn't even have 500 yards in this offense last year. So that tell you all you need to know about the offense.
Let me ask you this. You feel better about I don't know if I want to call it a prediction because you didn't just come out and flat out say it, but do you feel better about a Tennessee receiver getting 1,000 yards?
Based on what I saw Saturday?
And I know that's like one day that you saw, but you feel better, you feel worse about your 1,000-yard receiver prediction? And we also talked about running backs. You feel like Tennessee will have a 1,000-yard rusher now that you've been able to see them in person. Did your answers change? Or confidence in your answers change?
I like Hype. I like Hyatt's practice tempo. The way he's practicing, I can see him going for 1,000. And that's what I've been trying to like convey here with people who like, oh, he's a gamer. What you do in the game is habits that you have developed
in practice.
So like when you see a guy catch a pass, make a guy miss, and get upfield, it's because they worked on that stuff in practice each and every day. Like when you see receivers like catch the ball and go down, or catch the ball and get up the field a little bit, but then they just fall to the ground. It's because that's what they do in practice. We are creatures of habit. That's what we do, and you got to create those habits in practice. And the habits I'm seeing from Hyatt, like I can see him having a really good year. Now, Valus, I didn't see much of him because he was trying to stay loose. I think he had like a muscle thing, so I didn't see him, as much in. Actually, I didn't see him in at all, honestly.
He was off to the side on Friday.
Yeah, he was off to the side on Saturday doing just trying to stay loose. And it's more important that you have him later than trying to get him to prove what he can do now.
And he's a veteran.
Yeah,
you know what you're going to get from him.
Yeah,
he knows what to do. Like he's good.
K-Town Daddy says, so was Peyton's pass to Joey Kent against Alabama crawl across the middle scripted, or did Peyton audible that in 95? So what happened was that play wasn't necessarily scripted during the week. They talked about that opportunity on the bus, like on the bus. And I've heard this story so many times from Joey, but they talked about how, if Joey were to kind of bend it, getting past that outside linebackers ear that they can hit that pass and Joey can hit his head on the goalpost. So they made that adjustment, really not even practicing it. They made that adjustment on the bus. So, but that's what you can do when you have a receiver and a quarterback that's on the same page, and they in sync. That's what you can do. I mean, it reminds me of Casey Clausen and James Banks. I mean, they would do stuff. They would have that chemistry because they was in the same room together. When they both played quarterbacks, and Casey was hurt in 2002, and Banks was a freshman and played quarterback. They just thought the same. So they were able to do things that necessarily may not be in what you practice or in the playbook, but because you're on the same page, you can make plays like that. Cannot let this show go any further without talking about Walter Nolan naming his top 3. And Tennessee being in the top 3 for the number 1 overall player in the country, according to ESPN. Walter Nolan, at one point, didn't have Tennessee anywhere. When thinking about Tennessee, not only did Tennessee make the top 5 a couple weeks ago, but now Tennessee is in the top 3. There is a new team to worry about with Walter Nolan, and that is Texas A&M after his visit to Texas A&M. But it is now A&M, Tennessee, and Florida for Walter Nolan. All right, Josh Heupel, we'll see you now.
All right, Rodney Garner, we
All
see
right.
you.
All right now. All right. Hey, man, you get a player like Walter Nolan, or you have a chance for Walter Nolan, it's a team effort. It's everybody. It is everybody putting in work there. Woo. That's gonna be fun coming down the wire for Walter Nolan.
If Tennessee can land Walter Nolan, my word, that would be something.
That would be massive, man. That would be a big time statement.
Can we also try to figure out how Penny Hardaway landed the number 2 overall player in the country?
There's nothing to figure out.
Kentucky and the G League.
There's nothing to figure out, Ben. There's nothing to figure out.
I mean, I guess thanks, Penny, for not allowing him to go to Kentucky.
You already know. There's nothing to figure out. 865-255-03. Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work from anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Home service problems occur, even at the most inconvenient times, like during a health crisis. And Keller is always here to help you 24/7. As people are social distancing and staying at home on workdays, it's an easier time to take care of home maintenance items that you feel are necessary. And we've put new safety precautions in place, like wearing gloves, avoiding physical contact, new sanitation protocols, and limiting time in your home. We're here for you.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Walter Nolan, Tennessee is in the top 3. Texas A&M and Florida. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little worried about A&M, man. They just jumped in the top 3.
You already know what that's about. They got that. They got some resources that just puts them in the game. That not a lot of people say they can have, but it's good to be where Tennessee is. If you're looking at this, if you were looking at this 6-12 months ago, to be in the top 3 is pretty remarkable. You want to close the deal for sure, and nobody wants to come second, man. You're in the top 3. He lives right here in Knoxville, going to school at Powell. Man, you gotta seal the deal. But it speaks to the job that this staff has done to get to this point. We'll say that. Ben, anything you want to add before we get to the text box and read off some of these questions and comments, man?
No.
Okay. Let's see here. Good morning, Travis, on YouTube. Melissa is on Facebook. Danny, Facebook. Good morning, Pam. Charles from YouTube likes the Steelers hat.
Thank you.
Charles asked if you are from the Pittsburgh area.
Nope. I became a Steelers fan because of Jerome Bettis and Troy Polamalu. And when I was living in New York, they were on TV along with the Giants and the Jets, and I thought that the Steelers running back being nicknamed the Bus was the coolest thing ever as a kid. So that's how I became a Steelers fan. And Ben Roethlisberger was a rookie, so I also thought it was cool that the Steelers quarterback was named Ben. I was Ben. So that's how I became a Steelers fan.
Man, you easy. You are easy.
I am a Tennessee fan and a Grizzlies fan.
You became a fan because you thought the Bus was a cool nickname and because the quarterback had the same first name as you.
I was a kid.
I understand.
And
I understand.
Like at that point, the Titans weren't like super prevalent. I know they had made a Super Bowl in 98, 99. What was it? The 98 season, but the game was played in 99. Like I know they made the Super Bowl, but they were new to Tennessee. It's not like the Titans had some established franchise.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of people in the state of Tennessee that are, unfortunately, fans of other professional teams because the Titans got here so late.
Yep. No, you're 100% right. Okay, Volin Birmingham says, no Alabama, Clemson, or Ohio State in it for Walter Nolan. I like our chances with him being in the same city. He will see Tennessee coaches, fans, people all the time. Absolutely. C-Mac says, Derek King is out here eating up all the NIL deals. He just signed one with the Florida Panthers, the NLH team. That's good, man. It's good for him. It's good for his teammates. He better ball out. Nick from South Carolina says, sorry, fellas, had to drop the kids off at school. Didn't hear how the corners look from what you saw. I wasn't necessarily thrilled by how the corners played, but I wasn't necessarily thrilled with what I saw from top to bottom, to be honest. I didn't like what I saw, to be honest. I did see some good things. I do have to tell myself that it's still week one, fall camp, or it was week one of fall camp. My expectations are a little bit higher because I judge. Like, it's hard not to compare like my teams in fall camp to this team in fall camp. Like it's hard not to do that. But I did not like the intensity. I did not like the leadership. I did not like it, and that's kind of what we have to expect. Remember, this team didn't have any last year, so what are they going to do? Just all of a sudden just get some? Now you do have some new players that can come in and provide that, but it's early. It's early. So there's a lot of things that I wanted to see, but you have to understand something. My expectations are really high when it comes to what I want to see in practice. So maybe that's something that we'll see a little bit later, but I wasn't thrilled about practice overall. Nothing about practice made me say that Tennessee's going to win seven games or 8 games. I'm more in the 6-win range. I'm looking forward to seeing the next practice that will hopefully be in full pads. But Yeah, I didn't think the DBs were locking folks down, to be honest. Especially your top DBs that you want to see. You want them to see a little bit more consistency in those one-on-one situations. But
so you don't think it's smart to say that Tennessee's going to beat Alabama based off of what you saw?
Correct.
Let me ask you this about the DBs and receivers. You said the DBs weren't locking down the receivers. How much of that could be that Velus and Jalen, I guess Valen didn't practice, you said, or was off to the side, rather. I did just see on the Volquest practice video from today, Velus was going through drills, so that's a good sign. But
was it routes versus air?
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually do those because you can kind of control your steps. You're not reacting. So you can kind of, it's routes versus air, you got a little strain, you still can do a little hitch, still do some curls, but
that tells me that the little strain is manageable.
Yeah, but you just got to be careful, man. You got to be smart with that thing.
If it's a severe strain or something along those lines, then I highly doubt that he would be doing routes versus air. So
yeah, he got to be smart, man, because I know he wants to be out there. I know he's a senior. He wants to lead, and it's hard to lead when you're not out there and you feel guilty, but he has to be smart. Like, don't push it if you don't have to. That's the best advice that Tony Brown gave me my freshman year. I was like, man, I got to prove myself. He was like, dude, only you know how you feel. Don't let these trainers tell you how you're supposed to feel. And if you push it and re-aggravate it, you're not going to be out there. So you better take care of yourself. And that's what I would say to Velus.
But how much do you think maybe the secondary struggling had to do with maybe Tennessee having some receivers that can make some plays?
I don't know. I won't say they struggled because I don't know, like I wasn't necessarily happy with what I saw wide receiver, to be honest. I just need to see more. And I wasn't there the first day, second day, or third day because we do the show during practice. Mm-hmm. So like what I saw some things that I didn't like, which is normal in the first week of fall camp. Like, it's normal to be rusty in those areas. What I want to see more of is I want to see more intensity. I want to see guys bouncing around. I want to see, guys being vocal and being leaders and pushing each other. That's what I want to see more of. I think that's very, very important. You're going to hit a wall physically. You're going to be sore. I mean, you're going back to back to back. Yesterday was their first day off. So now you're going back at it today, and then you're going to go back at it, consecutively for the next couple of days until your next break. So, like, it's hard. Like, physically, it's hard. In season is easy because you got, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is your physical days. Thursday, you tail it back. Friday, you walk through. And then Saturday, you play the game. Sunday, you off. Like, it's easy during in season. Fall camp is physically brutal. It beats on you.
Practice is a little bit different this week, the schedule. That is, they are scrimmaging. They're doing their normal practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Scrimmaging on Thursday.
Ooh, yeah.
It means you won't be able to go.
It's okay. I'll be able to watch what I need to watch.
How?
They have these things called video.
That's fair. I didn't know if you'd watch the video. They're off on Friday, and then they're doing practice on Saturday morning.
Woo!
So practice a little bit different this week. I kind of like the setup with scrimmaging on Thursday. I would imagine that they're doing that because the first game is on a Thursday. Scrimmage every Thursday leading up to it. I like that.
ATL VFL asked about Lante, is he a safety? We talked about this during the break of the show about Lante's ability to be physical and tackle, but cover one corner, I don't know if that's his best suit for entirety of a football game. But he is great versus the run. He's very physical. I wonder how Tim Banks is going to use him after he sees the skill sets of his players for a consistent 3 or 4 weeks of fall camp and the beginning of the football season. So curious to see how he's going to use player strengths to help his defense. Wow, 3 hours is come and it is gone. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Swain Event is fueled by Dead End Barbecue. For the great Ben McKee, I'm just plain old Jason Swain. Hope you have a great day. Peace and love. We are out. Same time tomorrow, 7 a.m.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work from anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.